An unlikely thing that helped me was becoming an actor, which is something that I hadn't planned to do. I was singing in a choir, and an opportunity came up to act, and a friend of mine said, you know, I think you'd be good for this show. I'd never acted a day in my life, but I had healed, and I felt like, you know what, I mean, let me explore some other things. And so I went up and did this audition, and next thing you know, I got cast in a university. I was an attorney, but I got cast in a university production of Dionysus. But what that opened up for me was the ability to put myself in someone else's eyes, ears, body, and feet. And it taught me empathy. One of the key lessons that the director taught me was, that's not your voice. And I said, what do you mean? He said, somewhere along the way, you've learned to be authoritative. And you were taught in law school to talk like this. He said, I didn't cast you for that. I cast you for your own voice. So let's use your voice. And in the course of that process, I discovered what my own voice was. I didn't even know I was using this other kind of thing. And then I discovered the range of my own voice. And that one show, I got caught with, this is a discovery process. This was a continuation of my healing. So I auditioned for another show, and I got that show, and I auditioned for another show, and within a year I was in a professional acting company. And a lot of actors go into acting for many different reasons, and some of them want to be a star. I wanted to heal. And so I did understudy roles so I could see what this character feels, and it was such an exciting exploration. And then to have the opportunity to do it on a professional scale, people thought, oh, you want to be a star, you want to be on the stage. No, I want to heal. I want to understand. How does this person, I even played an abuser once who was a domestic abuser. And it was, I remember the show was called The Conquest of the South Pole, and I was with my wife, and all her acting was nonverbal, and all my acting was just like I'm talking to you now. But she would jump at certain phrases. She would move at certain phrases. And we had a conversation with the participants after the show, and one of the participants says, he's one of the most frightening men on the American stage. And I said, that's interesting, because he didn't say he's one of the most frightening characters I've seen in theater. He's one of the most frightening men on the American stage. And because of his projection, whatever social projection, could be blackmail, could be stereotypes, or it could just be he's just too calm for her to react that way. She was brilliant. She did all the work. But I had lived through difficult situations. I knew how normal it looked. I knew how to play it realistically, and it was terrifying. It was terrifying to watch. And the audience members were triggered at how terrifying it must be, you know. So now I tell people, look, take an acting class. I don't care who you are, just take an acting class. For what reason? To develop your empathy and your compassion. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Put other people's words in your mouth that you would not say. Why? To become a star? No, to understand the range of humanity that you have within yourself.